What's going on, y'all? I am here with Jen Thompson, who is not only one of the nicest people in the world, but just so happens to also be ranked among the strongest. And me and one of my clients just got done with a squat workout here in her home gym in, are we in Huntersville?
We're in Denver.
Denver, North Carolina. That's right, Denver, North Carolina. And Jen, certainly I'm not going to list off all of your accolades because certainly I would miss something. But for someone who may not be familiar with what you do and the records you have set and your role in the USAPL, tell us a little bit about all those things.
It's a little bit of a list, but I'll just give you the top ones.
Sure.
So my biggest accomplishment is I'm a 6-time IPF World Powerlifting Champion. I currently hold the world bench press record in the 63 kilo category with 311, and I have the total record with 1071. I'm best known for having the highest pound for pound lift of male or female lifters, highest Wilks. And then as far as powerlifting go, I'm the state chair for North Carolina. I also have I'm on a couple committees for the IPF, the Entourage Committee and the Youth Committee. And then we hold our competitions. I hold a lot of the state meets here in North Carolina. So a lot of volunteering going on in this organization.
Totally. So with all of those things, you are also a school teacher and a mother. How do you have time to juggle it all?
Well, I teach part-time, so that helps.
Okay.
I teach half the day, so that actually gives me a lot of time to do a lot of the other things that I like to do. I was talking to our principal the other day, and I said, I think I'm a better teacher because I work part-time, so I have more time to do everything that I like to do in class. But it gets busy, but I think if you just kind of make everything kind of wind together, it works well. With the school, we have a powerlifting club, so I kind of work that in, and then I get my students to spot and load at the powerlifting meets. So it all kind of comes around full circle. Sure. I make it work.
Awesome. So how long have you been lifting, and how did you get into specifically the sport of powerlifting?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. I started lifting when I was in my 20s. And I did it to meet my husband.
There you go.
He was a lifter,
right.
I wanted to get to know him. And I was a big runner in high school, and I did road races in college. And I ran because I liked the competition, but I didn't like running in particular. So I started doing the weights to kind of hang out with my future husband. But I found that I really enjoyed it. And so I did it for a few years before I even started competing. He learned how to weightlift in the Army, and so it was him and his buddies. We always lifted in this home gym. In fact, much of this equipment is original 1980s gym equipment from our very first one. Doesn't go bad, Yeah. And so I started just, I did it for a little while, and then I would stop, and I'd do it for a little while, and then I would stop. And then once I saw a competition, that's when I kind of got the bug for it. And I think that's still true today. I think the competitions keep me in it, excited about it, having the goals, lifting hard, trying new things. I think the competing part of it keeps it going for me. Because I've been, my first competition was in 1999, if that tells you how long I've been doing it.
Sure.
It was a sad one. I almost bombed out in the squats with 186 pounds.
So, it's interesting. It seems as if powerlifting, especially competitions, have really gained popularity in the last couple of years, especially among females.
Huge, yeah.
What are some things that you see people doing maybe especially right, or things that people should spend more time with that would make their first or even second competitions more enjoyable and maybe more successful?
Well, it is huge. It's growing huge, especially in the females, which I think is fantastic. I think a couple reasons that's happened. I think Raw's come full force now, and that's brought a lot of people to it. But I also think CrossFit has brought many, particularly females, into our sport because they have some of the exercises, and I think the women get in there and realize that they can get strong without looking like a man and getting too beefy, you know, because that's kind of the fear among women. And so then it's a natural transition into powerlifting. I think one of the biggest mistakes with powerlifting is going in and thinking that first meet is going to be like the best ever meet, and you've got to prep, and it's, you know, and you're nervous about it. I almost think, you know, I always tell people you should go into it as like your practice meet. Well, first you should just go to one.
Definitely.
And
definitely.
watch and learn and kind of get the vibe of it and the flow and just the way things go. And then I think your very first meet, you should consider it like a practice meet. Don't stress yourself out with trying to hit this certain number. You know, you're already going to be a little bit messed up with just trying to figure out the commands and being in front of everybody and that whole thing. So I almost think like, you know, people get like, I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't want to go to a meet yet because I haven't hit this number yet.
Right.
And I think that's a mistake. I think that, I think really you should just, even if you're not hitting much weight, you should just go in there, get in there and try it. Because if your first meet's going to be your best meet, not the sport for you. You know, you should be getting better every single time. And they put so much pressure on themselves for this initial meet. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, definitely. So speaking of getting better over the course of time, I wish we could even see half of the trophies and the medals in this room. You're certainly a great example of doing just that. Mm-hmm. How has your training evolved over the course of time, and what does it look like now?
It's good that you mentioned that. Evolve is a really good word, because we're constantly changing, modifying, trying new things, you know, new studies, new technology, all that sort of stuff. So you have to be willing to change with the sport. You know, in the beginning, we trained more like bodybuilders. Everyone always told us that we were training too much like bodybuilders. But then I think more people train that way now. You know, we probably the biggest thing is we probably overtrained a lot in the beginning, and we've learned that rest is really important, and you get stronger with rest.
Indeed.
So that is a huge thing that I think that's kept me in it for so long. I think form is your number one thing, and I think that's probably, I really haven't had any injuries from powerlifting in all the years I've done it. I mean, you know, little muscle strains here and there, but I think the most important thing is having that great form. It doesn't matter how much you can lift if your form is terrible. Mm-hmm. You're going to max out at some place, but if you have great form, you can continue to grow and get stronger, you know, as you go. So our training looks different all the time, and I think with powerlifting, one of the great things is our community.
Definitely.
And when we go to meets or we just talk with other people, you always get new ideas that you want to try out, or someone will say, hey, I tried this, it looks really great, or I tried doing this and that. And we're always just, and sometimes we try things, we're like, that didn't work. You know, go back to what we were doing before, or, you know, small little tweak things. And, you know, one of the biggest things I always say about this is the greatest thing about powerlifting is we're all very different shapes and sizes. But what that means is different things work for us differently. So you have to kind of find what's going to work for you may not work for me. Exactly. Kind of thing.
Exactly.
I don't know if I answered your question, but
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, Jen, thank you so much for your time. Tell us a little bit about where people can find you and some of these videos that take place right here online.
Well, I've got a couple things going on, which has been a lot of fun with learning technology. I have my own personal website, which is 132poundsofpower.com, 132, and I just kind of keep all my stuff up on there. If you're interested in powerlifting in North Carolina, we have carolinapowerlifting.com. I have 2 video series I got going on. I have my 132 Pounds of Power video series, which I have some tutorials and mostly just kind of my lifts that I've been doing, but we just launched a new one called Thompson's Gym. And it's a YouTube channel. We've got, I think, 12 episodes now. And it's kind of, one of the things I've always said my biggest success is the people I lift with make me successful. And I wanted to share that kind of with the world. We have a great group of people that lift in our gym of all different levels. And I think that's what makes me so great, because I love training with them. So I have little pieces of funny things that happen in our gym. You see a little bit of our training, and then I try to throw in a little tutorial at the end on something that we did that day. Mm-hmm. So it is probably more adult channel.
Disclaimer.
But check it out. It's really pretty cool, pretty fun, and I'm getting better at them as I go.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I'm also a big supporter of SSP Nutrition and SBD Apparel. They've been very kind to me over the years.
Right on. And we will have links to all of those down below this particular video. Jen, again, thank you so much for your time and for your hospitality. We had a great workout today. Just to wrap up, what piece of advice might you give, let's say even the young lady who's contemplating maybe getting into, maybe not even powerlifting specifically, but strength training in general?
Mostly you just want to surround yourself with people that know what they're doing. It's very easy to hurt yourself doing this stuff. And I think too, even if you're not a powerlifter, you find that we love what we do and we love talking about what we do. So yeah, I always encourage people to go to a powerlifting meet because it is definitely not a situation where you walk in and people are like, who are you? Everyone's like, oh, who are you? You know,
right.
Come on over. Oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. But I think the best thing right now is, especially with social media, with YouTube, it's good and bad. So find the good ones because there are some bad ones out there. So you want to find good resources, usually by recommendations of people you know. And you know, you go into any gym and a lot of people are scared of the biggest person in the gym or the person that's lifting the most, but mostly you find that they're the nicest people and they love talking about what they do. So I think that's knowledge is key on all of that.
Absolutely. All right, well, cool. Thanks, Jen. Again, really do appreciate it. Thanks again for the great workout.
You're welcome.
And yeah, we'll be over again real soon.
I hope so.
Take care, y'all.
Bye.